These are revised estimates for the shortened project. I tried to describe it.
Okay.
Lead in.
Yeah, it's, that class
I
is
guess
fast.
that's 58.
I did turn on that.
Morning. This is kind of small, but at least it just be a reminder of the where these are. Layout of ones.
You see, I said it here, with all the pens there, right in front of you.
Wonderful.
That's good.
Load you up with it.
Yeah, I got one. Okay, everyone would like to rise and we'll say the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You gotta have that.
I'd like to see all these
St. Louis Park.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
they made a little national of it.
All right, it's there for approval, minutes and agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes agenda.
I'll say.
Got a motion for agenda and a second from Stensrud to approve the minutes and agenda. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. 9 a.m. Continuance hearing of DD 18, class 11, 12, 13, and 29 improvement projects. Rick, you've got some new information for us?
Yes, I gave you those new sheets. We did get out in the field and look at some things. I don't know if you want to view this. This is 5 to 10 minutes
Yeah.
of the damage and, yeah.
You may have to complete it when you're done with it.
Yeah,
Some people
I-
call it scrubbing.
Hopefully I'm immune because I'm getting over a cold myself.
yeah, she's got some hand sanitizer there.
There's been a major washout at near the outlet of DD 11. You've gotten estimates. I don't know that you've seen those. Have they seen the
No.
estimates?
No,
So what do you do, Rick? Just click on the top one and
I think so,
roll through?
yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
There we go. Let's go through it. There.
Yeah, just a few pictures and a video. The video is what I was hoping they could get
I
to.
don't see a video.
Oh, really?
Oh, here it is.
Okay.
Maybe this is it.
Doug, you want to hit the lights? Rick? Thanks. While you're at it, give me some popcorn.
I'll get right on it.
There you go.
Ouch.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it, it's real.
Is this the same spot, Doug, that when we had the FEMA event washed out, or is this a different one?
You know, that would maybe qualify for that, huh?
No, I mean, we didn't do FEMA this time, but the last time we had a FEMA event, we had some washouts in that ditch.
Look at all the dirt in the ditch.
Yeah, you can see where it went.
I have an estimate to clean that part too.
This don't have the cleaning.
This is just the estimate to repair what he has.
What happened?
Okay.
Did you guys want to see the estimate? This is from Helgeson.
Well, that gives you a better idea on how much damage there was at that outlet. And how much dirt got into it.
So at Helgeson's, did that start or were they down there prior to the, what do you mean, to it washing?
No,
They hadn't even been there
no.
at all?
no,
Okay.
That's horrible.
I can't believe how I got that big.
Oh, I know.
And there's nothing left in, there's like 3 pieces of 18-inch clay in there, and then other than that, I don't know what all that cement, if they had an issue years back
That's how they
and
were.
did stuff,
Yeah, I don't know.
That could be clay.
but there's 200 feet of tile that's gone, I don't know where it is.
Just gone.
Yeah,
So there was some cement farther up where it blew out, like.
yeah, I have no idea.
Where
See
would
the
that
water
come
running
from?
there.
I'm assuming they must have had some kind of an issue.
Why that shallow isn't it?
Yeah, there's about 30 inches of cover on top of that 18 right there. That's about the shallowest area of that there for another, about 150 feet or so. Then it deepens up quite a bit. I couldn't hit it with the tile probe. I don't know, a couple 100 feet north there.
He's attempting here to follow the route that this improvement would follow then. I think he gets up to the road, and then he goes beyond that even too, but probably not worth doing that. But this, I think, is a good thing to see. Wide open space till you get to the railroad. I've got a dollar amount in there for railroad provisions, I called it, I believe. There's a permit fee, insurance fee. I'm hoping we get by without flagman, but this is the general area you thought we would probably be crossing the tracks. We'll
So
have to-
you're gonna run on the east side of the existing one then? Is that what you're thinking there?
Not sure.
Because the existing one would be west of where, it crosses, I'm guessing about at those trees
Okay, we wondered
under
about that.
there.
Yeah, we wondered about that. Yeah, there's culverts right there.
And
Well-
then the intakes are right at the culverts on the blacktop. There's one on the north and one on the south.
I don't know if he gets eyes on that or not. If this is the blacktop, we'd be crossing too. I've included boring under this one, also. It's a big enough pipe, it gets awfully expensive to bore it, but, we'll work with the county engineer's office as far as whether we bore it or open cut it. Be their expense, so that's why we rely on them to help decide, so. So what we're looking at here is just north of the road, 490th, I think it is?
Yeah.
Okay,
Starville Blacktop.
and this is then the route that the existing tile follows, at least pretty closely, I believe.
Is this still 11 or is that turning to 12 now?
I don't think we're quite
We're
at
still
12.
at 11, 12 will hook here about where this spot is in the field.
Yeah, and the estimates I gave you are for getting to north of the road and connecting the existing tile there to the new tile. Now, if this goes forward, what we would do is this fall would get exact locations and elevations on the existing system. So we know we're deep enough, we know we're following the right route, and we don't want to destroy any parts of the old one that are still good.
See that line in the field there? That's where they put that new 15 in.
That goes to the ditch door then.
Yeah, that goes from there back to where he turned. So it'll go up to the road ditch and it follows the field edge. It's in the field.
If I remember right, he said there was still water standing in the north part of this?
Up in Bridvig's up there.
Okay,
So it runs approximately, I don't know, 30, 40 feet out in the field here.
Okay.
Until we hook them towards, I think there's an intake about right there, and then it starts hooking over. And it's new then up to the fence line.
That's a big area of drown out right there. Wow. Yeah, I hadn't seen this yet myself. He was just telling me about it. So is that water up ahead of us?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's across the road.
Well, I don't know how much you want to look at this point. I think we're still probably falling back to that lower part as far as a project, possible project. And that's what I've given you estimates on. And as I mentioned, if this looks like it's going to go forward, we try and locate the existing system, use that information to finalize our design. We have to talk about the timing. That doesn't really give you time to get much built in the fall. 'Cause we don't get out there till the crops are out and get the locates. Then we have to finalize the design. There's 2 or 3 weeks you wait again to have the bid letting after the design is finalized. So it gets to be fairly late in the fall.
So, Rick,
Uh-huh.
if they proceed with only the lower part, which would be just across the blacktop,
Mm-hmm.
how many locates would you have to do? The outlet to the ditch is pretty much located.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
That's the understatement of the day.
you could probably dig at the ditch to
Yeah.
locate.
Yeah, it wouldn't be very many, really. We could dig along the edge, stay off the railroad right of way, but dig along just in the edge of the field.
Right.
We'd want to locate there. with
That would be
elevation.
too invasive there.
No, that's true. Drive right down along the right of way line.
So if it was to proceed, there is a possibility we could.
Oh, yeah, and if we could pick spots that were not damaging much. I mean, there's obviously brownouts, that if it was dry enough to dig and get locates, we wouldn't be hurting anything, so. And we've done that before too, where you don't damage enough to make it worth waiting. You could go ahead and put it together. Yeah, as a matter of fact, if we got dry spell here, yeah, we could try and work the locates and do it right away. That's an option. May still want to give them some time in the spring, just to not pinch the contractor too tight.
Right.
But-
You want to make it competitive.
Yes, exactly, so. We'd want to visit with whoever we'd be on.
You know, it isn't very far. Could they dig it in the winter even? You know, they could do it as a winter project.
Yeah, possibly. We've had it work in the winter. If we got it put together soon enough, we might put say, December 1st, having the pipe, a deadline to have the pipe in the ground, and then clean up in the spring, something like that. We had one project in Humboldt County, they dug all winter. They had snow cover, they just cleared off in the morning, and so there wasn't much frost. Dig. Next morning, they clear another area, dig. So it's possible.
And this one's not that long, so you're not going to have a.
Oh, no.
Situation.
No, very true. The biggest thing would be coordinating the boring under the railroad and the 490th, so.
Doug?
Yeah,
I'm going to hit the lights again. Thanks.
I see a couple of easements down here, what are they?
This would go on ground that doesn't have the tile on it now, so we always allow for easements, temporary and permanent easements. Drainage attorneys even argue with each other on whether you need those or not. One or two of them have said, you just do this, but I don't think that's right. You're manipulating the ground, putting in this tile. It isn't as productive for a while. We've gotten that straight out 5 years effect, working with farmers, feeling that that's more appropriate. It's some damage at least out as far as 5 years. And the permanent just guarantees the right of access to this new system if anything has to be repaired or whatever. Hopefully we don't have to touch it. But the only issues we've had with new systems is maybe a tile connection would fail or a tile connection was missed during construction. That happens. But the systems themselves, we haven't had issues with. Again, this is my best estimate on costs. It depends on the timing of it, how many contractors are interested. We have a list of contractors that call us regularly asking about projects. Things have changed now where we put the plans and specs online. There's a service where they can, any contractor can load the plans and specs for free. If they want a hard copy, we typically charge $100, and then if they give us back that copy, we'll give them the $100 back. We want to do everything we can to encourage more bidders. That's what we're after. Chris was talking, maybe this would be continued again.
Yeah, I know some landowners needed to
See
look
this.
at what the estimate was
Yeah.
going to be.
Chance to absorb it,
Mhm.
discuss it.
I wish I could have gotten it to you sooner, it just didn't work out sooner.
Did you say you had his cleaning estimate? Or for cleaning the ditch?
Yes, and that is just gonna be, he's just gonna clean it because it's gonna need it for another $19,000
Also, there was
for
estimates.
2,000 feet.
Yeah, well-
We didn't get that one.
No, because
Yeah.
that was just separate. I mean, that's just, it needs to be cleaned.
Yeah.
So,
Did they bid on that or not?
no, not when it's 20.
Oh,
They don't have to.
when it's under 20.
They'll
They
just
got
go-
pretty darn close, 19.5.
Well, the actual
No,
limit
it's
now
only
is,
19.
19.5.
That's
Oh,
that one.
yeah, I know,
This is 057.
but they got
well,
that figured out.
on that,
They all do.
they can actually go to 50
Yeah.
now.
Without having to,
With no bidding and, yeah, saving the cost of engineering.
that's the county.
That's
No,
drainage districts.
No, that's the
Just-
Iowa code.
oh,
Yeah, I would code for drainage districts.
We like to go 20.
Will that be assessed to, just this small watershed or the whole ditch?
The whole ditch, the whole district.
That'll help. Yeah, with the limit, you don't necessarily have to do any engineering.
Yeah.
You don't have to get multiple quotes. It just ends up hopefully saving some money.
So this whole district, it's 1,075 is the total acres.
I think that's just lateral 11.
That's just the lateral 11.
Yeah.
This is just at the reduced footage.
Looks like the district's at least 3 times that. I'm just guessing. We didn't do anything with the whole district.
We use plastic or cement tile.
Got cement plant. There's a place for the plastic. It works great for the laterals for pattern tiling. We've just seen enough failures. We're concerned with it. Just 2 weeks ago, I found out about a site where they put in plastic 21 years ago. It wasn't collapsing, but it was breaking up. It was brittle. Now they're trying to get past that by using all virgin material for the plastic pipe, which will help. But we're looking at a 100 to 150 year system.
So we got a breaker system out of this one.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Yeah. I tell people I used to say earlier on in my career that we're approaching 100 years in these districts, And now, lots of them are past 100 years. It's amazing with how they did this work and how they made the materials, and it's just mind-boggling.
You want to explain to me this improvement project, who pays for it? You said 1,075 acres on this map. Does that include the lat 12 and
No.
29?
Well, as part of it, they use 11 as their outlet.
That's their outlet, yeah.
So they will help, but
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
basically everybody.
12, 13, and 29 will all help pay for this.
There you go.
Yes.
Well
I was gonna
put.
say,
Yes,
I was thinking that.
and that's the 1,075 acres.
If your water goes through it, you should be helping pay for it.
There you go.
It does.
Yes.
Okay, so now going back to repairs. The repair estimate for the ditch bank and that, is any part of that get assessed to the rest of the district, or is it just this lateral that pays for the repair on the blowout?
It'll still be all of them because they all pay for lat 11.
No, I'm talking. Okay,
Because
so
this is
the
lateral
ditch
11,
cleanout is being paid for by the
the
whole
whole
18 district,
district.
but none of the blowout on the bank or anything can be paid by the whole district.
Not when it just goes north of the ditch, then that's just the lateral 11, but then the 12, 13, and 29 will help pay for that.
So yeah, the tile repair
Mhm.
will be by lateral 11. Any of the ditch work, but it'd be by the entire.
But I'm just saying, if there's a slough along 18,
The ditch,
which there has been in the past,
Mhm.
the district paid for it.
yes.
So now this one basically was a slough blowout, but the whole thing got out of control. So then it's just that lateral that pays for it because it got out of control.
Right, because it's on that lateral.
What probably caused it to go back and erode all the way up is the fact that the ditch bank in the first place collapsed.
It was probably sensitive from when we cleaned it out. It never really.
Oh
cured.
yeah, there was so much of that.
So the ditch cleanout might have,
But that was a couple years ago or more, even.
Yeah, but still the bank failing is what caused it to flow through there and erode.
I don't want to
This is
start
more
that.
typical where the actual problem was at 300 feet back where blowout occurred, and that's just started sucking dirt. And we've seen it before in newer construction where the backfill is fairly fresh. This at least was old backfill. But it just built up to the point it started surface flowing, I believe. Now, the ditch itself may have been a little subject to this from previous repairs, but the tile itself, blowout, caused the tile problem, I believe.
So getting back to who's paying, so I always thought that everybody pays on the main. Am I wrong in that?
The whole district will
Yeah.
pay on the ditch.
No, I'm talking
on the-
I'm
Right.
on the tile man, I'm not
So
talking
our-
about ditch stuff, I'm
Okay.
talking about,
Our
This
current
project.
classifications may be not right. So that's why we're gonna reclassify it also. So these numbers could change and they would be lower. Because I don't think 12 and 13 and 29 are part of,
they don't have an outlet.
I don't think they're in here. You know what I'm saying?
well, that's what I'm asking.
So it would go lower, it wouldn't go higher.
Well, that'd be
So then, yeah, so,
They're not currently in there, but they should be,
yes,
Okay,
and the reclassification will clarify that.
yeah. So then to leapfrog off of that, I asked for price to plow a 15 from Rudvig's fence line up to Carl, because at some point he's gonna want that done. Who all pays for that, and what's that gonna cost us?
is that a personal thing or?
No.
No, it's part of the,
That's,
that would be lateral 12.
That'd be lateral 12.
Oh,
we're talking about doing this in
Stages.
increments.
Yeah.
And we're just doing the bottom end here. So that's my next question. I mean, we're just getting started on it. I wanna know what it's gonna be to get the rest of the way.
Well, we already had that before.
Well, that's at that full blown,
Yeah, full-blown concrete, new pipe all the way.
yeah,
Yeah.
you seeing
And it was
what
bigger.
we're talking
Yeah.
about is hooking on to lat 12 up at the Brodvig fence line where it's already new pipe and plowing new plastic another mile up or mile and a half,
Across.
whatever it is, to get up through
So we don't have any
and
numbers for
service
that.
the
No,
rest
no.
of them.
So, yeah, we'd like to get some numbers.
Yeah,
Well, we can get with a contractor. What kind of distance are you talking about? Do you think?
well, from,
You're talking 12 inch.
no, it's 15
Or
that's
15.
there. So that we can just go run 15. So the first quarter section there,
That's 60.
Sure, all the footage is on the other one,
28.
the one you had last time.
Yeah.
You know, the footage would be there.
Feet than that, it would be some
I
cheap.
guess.
Part of that's been replaced, right?
Yeah, up to the fence line on Doug's quarter.
so it's new up to here.
Okay.
So 15 from here up to there.
So,
So you're a little over a half a mile, but you gotta start right here where there's new 15.
okay,
Plow new 15 and up to here. So these guys got drainage.
okay.
So from that quarter section, line fence, rest of the way up. Because, am I right? Even though I'm downhill, I'm paying for that because that's the main.
Are you gonna go past lat 13?
Yeah,
Yeah,
over,
You have to.
yeah.
yep.
This is-
You gotta get up to the gravel.
Cross the gravel.
There.
13.
That would be the first
water was standing on the.
phase that they would do.
Well, the thing is.
So I
it-
mean,
for the first-
am I right on this? Everybody pays on this,
So we quit working.
no matter where it is?
When it gets reclassified, it'll be bilateral that's affected.
Right.
So,
So you're saying I would not pay for
If
it?
you're down here,
Yeah.
the work is up here on another lateral,
Yeah.
you wouldn't pay.
Right.
If the
Okay.
water's not going through it, you should.
Show me
So-
the upper
That would
end.
affect you more adversely as
Well,
well.
stop south of the
Right.
gravel road
It's
or?
gonna
so
cost
13 and
everybody up there
29 will
more.
pay into 12.
Yes.
Yes, correct.
Carl, is, you farm mini turners?
Yeah, that quarter,
Okay.
that's Donnaville's.
Okay.
Yep, so basically all of 29 and 13, other than a little, are all on her
So
farm. I,
we go across the gravel road at the north end of where you're? pointing?
Yeah, he needs an outlet there.
yep,
So you're probably, what, 3,200
And-
feet, I'm guessing.
yeah,
right there.
but then, just like for his corner and his, you know, 'cause 13 don't work. So,
No,
and I don't know if that ain't gonna fix it just by tying it in here.
no,
No.
no.
So, you'd
What's
wanna
wrong with
run,
13?
what's that?
What's wrong with 13?
It's nothing. It
Just
goes,
drive down the road and you'll see.
that picture where the water's standing
Yeah.
is on rocks right at the end of
Yeah,
13.
right there in the corner.
Nothing flows through there.
I'm
Where the
sure it's
rest-
full of dirt.
Part of it is some CRP or
Well-
grass roots, but I mean, it's definitely a problem.
Yeah.
Lines and pieces.
Yeah,
So you'd wanna see what, yeah, at least an outlet to the end of 12, or across the gravel on 12, and then,
go over on 13 too.
yeah,
While
third,
you're at it.
you know, and just,
Do you know how big that is? Is that a 12 there, or is it down to an 8?
oh, I think it's, well,
It's an 8.
8, if that up through there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the ditch.
We're across in his yard there.
Yeah.
Where the sucks are.
We're talking about doing it in stages. When are you thinking of this 15 inch?
I don't know.
It all depends on where this all goes. If this
Yeah.
bottom part, you know,
We gotta get through this first,
Yeah.
but
13 is an 8?
that's what I, yeah. she's talking 1,000 acres here, and then there's more than that, and, yeah, I'm not quite following as to who's paying for what, so that's what I'm trying to figure out.
Work on lateral 12, people in lateral 12, 13, and 29 will pay. On the part that I gave you new estimates for, everybody in 11, 12, 13, and 29 will pay.
Yeah, they're already on there for the.
Yeah.
1,075 acres
It's just that.
11, 12, 13, and
is
29.
all of it.
Yeah.
But if you reclassify it, it could be more acres.
Could be 1,600.
On, just because those boundaries will be,
I'm just counting 40-acre sections
you know,
and looking at the area that's gonna affect, well, no. I guess I got over too far because this, lat, 18 is not gonna be part of it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, maybe it is. It's not gonna be much more.
some of that.
We talked 1, 2, 3.
We'll look at the boundary as part of the reclassification, but usually it's not a big change at all.
When was the last reclassification?
You know, I don't know that answer right off the top of my head.
I got this here.
'Cause I had a watershed one time that they had pasture in the classification. They weren't paying anything. It's an apartment.
Yeah, see, and
That happens.
When are you gonna reclassify it?
well,
You're approving it today to
Yeah.
start the process.
He's not farming something, it's not.
latest to be this fall. I mean,
well, there's 40 acres.
you're probably not gonna build this. I mean,
No,
I mean, this will be next year billing.
Yeah.
So,
They get the reclass done for next summer.
yeah, and our goal will be to get any reclasses we're working on done this winter, hearing out of the way, everything, before there be any.
It might be safer for you guys to let us reclassify it and then, go through and decide what's to be done. And then Chris could give you exact dollar what your costs are gonna be individually.
And could you do like we did on DD 3 and just do just these laterals now for the reclass?
I think
And we
so.
could get those out of the way to get this going
I
sooner,
think so. Guys, but,
you know?
yeah,
Instead of doing the whole district right this second, just
Yeah.
do these 4 laterals.
we can work at that.
That'd be great.
Yes.
Mhm.
That won't give them a true cost because on the main or on the ditch.
No, I'm talking just these laterals. And I'm not gonna worry about the ditch because we're not billing that right now anyway. I just wanna know what these laterals will cost so they know.
Well, yeah, the ditch is, for us, in these laterals, the ditch is gonna be inconsequential. It's gonna be a
Yeah,
minor
yeah.
cost.
Right.
They're too far off.
Could they fix the ditch when they put the tile in and it's gonna save about 10,000 bucks?
I'd like to know what happened to that tile.
Yeah, that's so strange.
That is very strange.
I haven't floated down the river to find it, but it hasn't shown up in my pasture downstream yet, so.
They're,
It's probably just in the mud.
Probably under the silt.
Just on the silt there.
I'm
He'll
sure.
find it when he cleans the ditch.
That could be.
Probably rolled and covered.
But there was no surface water through there, was there? That's just all.
I don't know, I drove by one day and my head went around and, you know, I thought it was from a big thaw and it ponded when I was gone, but I don't think, I didn't
Was
see
it
any
like this
ponding.
this spring or it got worse?
Yeah, it was this spring. I stripped, I mean, I did tillage on the whole thing last fall, there was no blowout, no nothing. There was nothing there.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know when it happened, but must have been this spring
We had
sometime.
a lot of funny ponds where they never were before because the frost in the ground and all that moisture on top of it. Whether it just got a great big pond built up right there and it just surface drained or.
Had to be after April. I rode snowmobile by there.
Did ya?
I didn't see it.
Yeah, see, I
That was
don't,
in April.
I didn't
Kinda looks
notice
like
it, all of a sudden I did.
meteor trenches.
Like I said, I mean, I did not swerve for a thing, I didn't see anything, and it was bean stubble. So, you know, I should have, if there was something.
In the freeze thaw and melting process, something blew and it just took it.
Yeah.
So what's the plan of action?
Well, I'm just thinking through that right now because it's
You
gonna
still
take us.
have work to do on 15-inch improvement, right?
Right, well, I can get with a contractor and try and get an estimate. But that might be, it might be a year or two down the road,
I
depending
would say
on how.
reclassification is probably number one. So
Yeah,
So
and
that we
that's,
can get the individual costs. to the
Yeah.
size.
and if you just want a good idea, we wouldn't have to wait for a hearing or anything. We could call it a pre-classification for estimating purposes. I'm just thinking ahead of the timing for us to do our exploratory design, bid letting. This may delay it a little bit.
So this 1,075 you came up with for acres, based it on, that's on the old classification?
I don't remember if we took it off the old classification or we actually looked at, estimated based on watershed boundary, is what we did.
It seems pretty accurate to me.
We should be pretty close.
Seen it, then the price tag didn't hardly change for me.
I didn't-
Doing this, so.
Yeah, we've done what we call pre-classifications where hasn't necessarily been through the hearing and approval process, but it,
Yeah, yours didn't change because you were paying either way on this lower section. Everything above you wouldn't pay.
Yeah.
Don't everything above is paid.
Yeah. The whole lat 11 is paid.
But
For the last estimate we had, did the whole project,
Because
he's only paying, because he's on the lower end, he's only paying for the lower end. Correct?
Well, I'm on,
No, I thought it was.
well, the lower end was gonna be either way,
per acre.
and
Based
so
on
his basic expenses there, because everything above
Should
that,
be
he,
prorated.
in theory, shouldn't have to pay much for.
right.
If it was classified correct.
So, yeah.
So basically after that, if this were to go through, you shouldn't have to pay on anything else
No,
forever.
no,
Yeah, the next step isn't gonna be yours,
no.
when it comes, I guess.
when would you clean out the ditch?
That's up to you guys if you want them to go ahead now and just clean it or just wait. Is it affecting anybody?
At the very least, I would think that,
We don't get it, so it don't get any worse.
yeah,
Yeah, it's a possibility of that getting worse.
You could
the
get
erosion's gonna do it until we fix the rest of it.
Well, yeah, it's gonna have to be fixed before you clean the ditch. I mean, there'd be no point cleaning the ditch and not fixing
Right.
the whole wash and the break.
At the same time.
Yeah.
And basically, the further you're up the tile line, the more it's gonna cost you, because so it's gonna cost me $36,000 to go through lat 11, and that only drains half my farm. You know, I'm probably, 50 acres of that. Then when we go to 12, I'm gonna do lat 13, I'll have to pay for that. That's the other half of the farm. So basically, the further you are, the more it's gonna cost you. So if I was down on the line, it cost me one shot done. But if I'm way up there, it's gonna cost me the whole.
But
Yeah, because you're
the whole
using
works.
all of 12 and you're using 13.
Robbie.
Yeah, whatever your
Is
water.
this Herman's in your farm now?
No,
That's mine.
The Johnson,
it'd be the
end of,
John Johnson's farm. So the north half of that farm.
Where's that on Herman's? I don't see the name.
Hermanson's is,
So if you,
Herman's was mine.
yeah,
Okay, yeah.
So north.
so
is
I'm north
right.
of Rudnick's.
Yep.
And the east side of that farm, half of it goes north. the other half goes south. The west side of the farm goes mostly through lat 13. And some of that actually goes north also.
It'd be right here. So pass this.
I mean, really, if you cut the farm in half, half of it goes south and half of it goes north.
And we look at LiDAR contours to help determine those things, make our lines between laterals.
So that watershed that you look at, when did they figure that out? 100 years ago? Or?
Yeah, on horseback?
Yeah,
Yeah, they rode out.
because I've seen that little dotted line and I thought, geez, I mean, it ain't quite accurate.
Yeah, and they did amazingly well for what they had to work with.
Yeah,
Because they were out there on horseback trying to determine where these were. And some of this is old, some of the surveys were not done or were not accurate.
yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing what they accomplished.
So the reclassification will change that line then?
More than likely, it nearly always does some changing. Yeah,
So the guys out on the line are probably the only ones who will change some classification for acres out on the edge of the line.
usually that's the case. Yeah.
Lots of
Because
times,
this has got pretty well the whole farm going down.
Yeah.
lots of times the only mistake they made was instead of following, they actually went with a border on a piece of property.
Yes,
That's what I've noticed when it's
Yes.
seen the changes.
good statement. Yeah, a lot of times they didn't follow the watershed,
And they
just,
just half his whole farm, that whole 40 is
Yeah.
instead of only half of the 40.
It's easier to
Just
build
'cause
that
it-
way.
Yeah.
yes. Yeah, that's very true.
Do you try to determine if there's tile hooked on that maybe is on the other edge of the watershed, but it's still
If
forced back through?
information's available, for something like that, yeah. Sometimes private tiling will take either area into a district or out of a
Right.
district. You can't get out of a district, but we can reduce your levy, if you've tiled out. But,
So if I can prove to you half the farm goes north, then
Well, two things involved.
I mean, I'm all for it, but I was just looking at the.
Surface water and subsurface water. We've seen all kinds of instances where it was tiled one direction, but the surface water goes the other.
Right.
I mean, so in cases like that, we probably would reduce your benefit 50%. We are not to take private tile into consideration, other than we use it to help determine watershed. We're not officially to use that as a factor in benefits.
You'd have, but too, if we do 12, I'm guessing you're gonna have to pay on that too. Cause you use 12 on the north,
I guess,
you
well,
know,
my aunt owns that part of the corridor over there, so,
yeah,
yeah, I'll pay for it in rent,
yeah,
but yeah.
cause 12 still goes.
Yep.
So,
But, yeah, the only reason I asked is I got hung one time on one, and it was an open ditch, and I got billed for a main that was done, and I got nothing going in that main. It's going in the open ditch. And so I wanna know beforehand, so I don't have a $30,000 surprise that,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, what's available for us today to use for information is amazing compared to what they had back then. I mean, the equipment, satellite imagery, yeah, soils, acres of each type of soil. I mean, it's just way, way better, more accurate, more scientific.
I have a question. Yeah, do you know, is there, like, say, like 29 is the north end of the tile, lateral 29. How many feet of fall do we have? Is it flat or is there a good fall?
I'm guessing it's fairly flat. We have not researched the actual flow lines, I don't believe. I could look.
Isn't it fairly flat through Elfs and through?
Yeah, well, I know that
If it's flat.
Yeah,
the harv,
yeah, we'd have
that should be,
to get the
took a bunch of shots.
plans, the
Oh,
plan
Yeah,
profile sheets
yeah, and I
or
gave all
something.
that to him.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
We can research that.
You know, if it's flat, we're wasting our time.
Oh, no, the sizing we've done will get you either half-inch or 1-inch coefficients.
At available grade.
at available grade. We did use available grade to figure the sizing, so.
The steeper it is, the smaller it has to be, and so.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, we've taken that into account in the sizing. I probably told you this story before, I'll make it real short. My dad, he was old enough, he had dug some tile in by hand, and he just loved to hear me talk about us putting in 36 inch, 48 inch, because he put in 5 and 6 inch pipe. And to think that we could put in that size of pipe just astounded him. But we do, we size it based on the available slope to get the coefficients that we're after.
Flatter it is, the bigger it is.
There you go.
And that's why it's so expensive.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it has to be accurate, no swale.
Yeah. We probably talk a little bit about coefficients in here.
So I'd like to know what you guys are thinking as far as what would you like to see done first? And what are we gonna do about Doug's tile issue? 'Cause I'm assuming you don't want to repair that and then possibly upgrade it, so then pay again. But how long do we wait? What do we do?
Is it possible to do it in 3 stages? Where you improve it for the first 200 feet or whatever it is to repair it? And then that way we can get that bottom end done. It's not an astronomical bill to start with, and it's not gonna be money thrown to the wind down the road.
So put in the larger size pipe for that
First blowout
200, yeah.
area. Yeah, and then do our process here and keep it moving. And then we see, do they still want to go through and do this up to the road? And then the third stage would be that 15 inch up above.
It'll
We have to
add,
go through the improvement process twice then?
technically, if you go any size bigger,
Right.
it's considered an improvement.
Yeah, but will we have, if we did it that way, will we have to do that twice? Go 200 feet, stop, and then do it again next year?
Or can you just get an improvement for the whole thing and call it good until you get it done?
That's tricky because they don't like to see you do that.
Yeah,
The code doesn't like to
So we'd have
see
to
you
do
do
it
that.
twice then?
Almost.
That adds quite a bit of cost.
well, it adds engineering.
Right.
Well, but we could save it in that you've already done most of it.
Oh, yeah,
And if
true.
we combined maybe the rest of 11 with the start of 12, had that be one project, could you do that?
Could be done.
The rest of 11 with the 12? What do you guys think?
We need to know what the question or suggestion. I think what we gotta do is get under the railroad and the road, say, get to 12. And wait a year, see if it somewhat works.
See
If
if
it don't work,
See if the improvement on the whole end takes the pressure off
That's what we were
everything.
talking about last.
yeah, let's just.
You're getting a good outlet that way.
Do,
Yeah,
let's
let's get
just
that
do
part
11
taken care
and
of.
get her
Get the
done.
elevation done so we know where we are and get his ditch fixed or his blowout.
But they won't wanna fix, you're not gonna lay that new pipe in that old hole, you're gonna move it over some
No.
fresh dirt. And
Yeah,
all you gotta do is push it shut with a cap.
that's true. And there's, right now, the pipe where it outlets at the north end of that washout, there's quite a drop there. And I don't
About
know,
50 inches.
okay,
Like, when they clean the ditch there, they can use some of that to fill that in, can they?
and I think he was looking at salvaging material from the ditch berm to try and fill that, I
Yeah.
think.
I don't.
Someone had said that to me.
You know, and we don't have the, so we have the repair, but we wouldn't wash out the existing
I
ditch.
guess my thought was you were gonna do this repair as capacity and then put in a new system starting from the ditch again.
Put a little washout with existing ditch bank from ditch bank.
Okay.
That's in there already.
Well, yeah, that was talked about, cause that's working,
Yeah,
whatever's there.
Yeah.
That you fix that at capacity and then do this bottom
the new
level
system,
to,
yeah.
to 212.
or whatever.
That's my only thought on it is, I don't ever want to give an outlet up, a working outlet. I mean, to me, it's worth fixing it. I don't care if we upsize or not, you can never have too much, there's no such thing as overkill in tile. So I personally think we should fix it. And then if we do something else, we do it alongside it, but that's me, so, and I don't.
That's a good idea.
Either
That makes
way,
sense.
we gotta have some kind of fix, I just,
There's
you know,
obviously-
that outlet goes under a railroad that's gonna cost us $130,000 to get under, and it goes under a county road that's gonna cost us a lot. Well,
No, that'll be a secondary.
well, it costs somebody,
Yeah.
it costs us.
Indirectly, it costs somebody.
Indirectly.
Yeah, no, it's-
So either way, I don't wanna give that up. I don't wanna tie it into something else, I want it to keep functioning the way it is. That's my thought on it.
As long as we're going through an improvement, it can still be left.
It can still be there, it can still function, you know, maybe it makes the rest of this work better, whatever, you know.
I think that,
That's my gut on it, but
What's the rest of the thoughts?
well, I think it should stay. I mean, it's working,
Repair
obviously,
the
there's,
washout with the
there's a-
existing size tile,
you know,
Is that
and
consensus?
yeah, you know,
That works out to less than $20 an acre average to do that repair. But,
Right.
so,
yeah,
Because
That's not
adding
a lot.
20,000 to the rest of this is nothing, right?
no. And that, so, yeah. And that's all on the whole district anyways.
all on lateral 11, and anybody that pays to 11.
29. Okay, the question I have is, what about in the future, when eventually that is, we don't want to repair that? Then what happens to that water?
The part that you're gonna repair now, not to repair it again, is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, well, if you repair it, are you going to keep that system functioning along with the new one you put in beside it?
Is it still a part of the drainage district?
Is it part of the drainage district?
Yeah.
So if that old part needs to repair again, are we going to have to keep repairing it?
Well, you'd want to.
yeah.
Just like now, it's, you don't want it to not work. I mean, obviously, it don't work way.
Yeah, but you take the water and tie it into the new.
Yeah, if it gets to the point where it's just all collapsing 25 years from now,
Right.
you tie over into the new pipe.
Which isn't that long a distance.
Exactly.
And the new pipe is big enough to handle.
Yes, then we're figuring the new pipe big enough to handle the flows
Of the-
by itself.
That's just the fact you're not taking the old out, and putting the new in, you're just putting the new
Right.
inside of
At
it.
at present, personal tile into that. line.
Yeah, that's all.
What happens if there's more tile that, will it be big enough if more tile gets?
Yes, it's based, basically, all our designs are based on everybody pattern tiling.
Okay.
Will there be periodic cross flow from the old tile to the new tile?
Yes, we typically do that. Yes.
So then it'd be a pretty good system.
Mhm.
Well, should
And then if we put the half-inch coefficient, you'd actually be having more than that, because the old system is still working.
Yes,
Well, if that's the case, if that's big enough, it will be big enough. Aren't you throwing away money repairing this one now? Instead of going forward, just get that 15 in there now and, I mean, I'm
To
not
some
throwing things
extent,
out.
to some extent, yes. But like I say, I have a hard time giving up an outlet. I've done too much tiling, and if you don't have an outlet, you're screwed.
yeah,
You know?
exactly.
You can tell till you're blue in the face if you can't get rid of it.
But what he's saying is,
But yeah.
this is enough help.
I agree.
Yeah.
And if you wanna abandon it, I'll fix it myself later, you know? I'm not gonna give it up. I'll go out there with a backhoe and dig it in and fix it. Nobody else is gonna use it but me then, but yeah. So, like I say, that's my opinion. You guys can do what you want to on it,
Well, it makes sense.
as long as we have an outlet.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as you know, the only thing is that 200 or feet where it's washed out,
Right,
that's about all you'd have to replace on it.
correct,
To
yeah.
fix it.
Yeah.
So that wouldn't be that expensive.
That's what,
Well,
that's
what we have
what,
estimate for.
that's what,
It's just repairing.
That's a $20 an acre average. I would
that's
imagine.
Helgeson's deal.
Oh, I thought that was just the ditch cleaning up.
No,
No.
That
they
ain't
didn't do
even
that.
there.
That would be way less than that.
Oh,
That might
cleaner
be,
doing the wall, oh, okay.
if I was guessing, $7 or $8 an acre average. Because
Yeah,
it's
'cause the
that
whole
much
district-
more area.
That's a no-brainer, just do it.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, do the repair on that.
Okay, so, we're going to do the repairs estimated.
I think just,
you know where I stand, there.
Yeah.
I don't care what. Cause I.
I'd like to hear from Hunter, if you guys.
Yeah.
You know, is this something you wanna do?
Yeah, that's fine with me.
makes sense.
So I got a
That makes
question,
sense.
helping us fix the bottom.
Is there a petition for repair on this?
No, no.
No,
It'd be good for somebody to file a petition for repair.
Maybe we can do that one.
I've been being polite on this until, yeah, I'll let them decide, cause
Yeah.
I farmed around it, so.
Are we deciding on a half inch or a 1 inch today?
I don't.
We haven't gotten to that there.
As a matter
Ain't
of
got
fact-
that far
Not
yet.
that far, okay.
Matter of fact, it costs hardly anything more to bid both of those. If we're putting plans and specs together, it's just a few different numbers. So that we often ask the landowners to come in the day of the bid letting to discuss final cost estimates based on actual bids for half inch and 1 inch.
Probably what we would decide, if we were gonna move forward with the process, we would decide, do we wanna put it both half inch and 1 inch in the bid?
Right, right. That's your option if you want to include it or not.
Basically, what, 70 grand difference?
So about 27% difference.
And that's
To
pretty
be 100%
typical.
more than- For the cheap.
I've talked to people
$64 an acre more for the other.
in DD 25 south of Thompson that put in half inch, because they were told it'd probably be good enough. They found out different, but there again, you're still a lot of times reliant on the ditch getting rid of the water too.
It's
So
like Doug said, you can't overdo it.
Yeah, that's right.
No, I think you do it right the first time. It's just to do it in sections here, because it's a pile.
So we're gonna right now, we're gonna repair this. Just get that done.
I
We're
would,
gonna do the reclass for these laterals.
Yep.
And then what do you want to see done? What is your next
Estimate what it's gonna cost them. Go
for,
forward with the other project.
to start just 11, or are we starting with 11
Start
and
Just
12?
11.
Just
Just
11.
So you're gonna go just to the north of the blacktop, right?
Yeah, that's how I understand it.
Okay, that was just to the north of Blacktop, not up to 12.
So then you just have to decide which coefficient you wanna go with, I guess.
Don't you determine that after you get your bids back?
You can do it either way.
It's on both of them, it makes sense to do it that way.
I think we should go up to 12 myself. That's where the water comes from.
Yeah, then it's fixed to there, then.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
That, well, and I thought that's what we were talking about,
Yeah, we're not just on the road, we're
It
up
would
to
be-
12.
up to 12.
Where 12 starts?
Yeah, where, so
G.
12 gets,
The G there,
yeah,
Okay,
Yeah, go up to
so
that because 12
estimate
is better
11
replaced
to
from there on.
back 12.
yeah, and that's up to,
That's
because
up to the fence
there's
line.
two of them that run side by side from 12 down to the road.
And that's, yeah,
Yeah, well, they tee together at the road. So, but the new tile starts on 12.
Well, 12
If
goes
that's
up
what
to
you're
the
after.
front fence line.
But if you put in just past the road and you know that there's two tiles, one private, one district tile feeding it, you see how it works for a while. And if it's not working, when you do the improvement on the upper part, you could do the improvement on the.
that'd be a good approach, I think.
That's where I thought we left it last time,
I did too,
Yeah.
yeah.
that you guys just wanted to go to north of the road and then see how much pressure that improvement takes off the rest of it, and then make decisions from there, I guess.
yeah,
We're gonna catch both 18s there,
okay.
Yes,
just north of the road.
yes.
218s, whatever now.
Yep.
Yeah.
The one that's lat 11 that goes up to the right, Sketches, Knutson, and then up
Yeah.
into wherever else it goes there. And Ridwig's, that's on an 18 that runs alongside of what you're seeing in this picture.
Oh,
So basically, lat 11 has been replaced by a private 18.
oh,
So there's two 18s, and what size is it, right at the road there?
Now,
Yeah,
I'm assuming it's an 18, because
that's what I
that's what the
thought,
outlet
there's
is.
18 going on down to the ditch.
Yeah.
It would make
Yes.
sense that they
So
were
we got
running
two 18
18.
speed and one 18.
Yeah,
yes,
And if we get those two 18s dumping into something bigger, that may take some pressure off it.
and just
should help.
So
That's
now
what
you know
this
why
is.
that area really blew up.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's true. When you, just that last statement kind of,
Yeah.
So
and
this estimate is just going to north of the highway.
yes,
That's taken care of.
yes.
Now we're going back to improvement, but go bigger.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That is true.
That's,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's been in the plan.
they're gonna, the old one, they're gonna repair,
Repair.
and then we're gonna go ahead with the improvement beside it, up north of the park,
Yeah,
is the way.
I think we're all, yeah, I think that's what I'm understanding.
Parallel to the old one with cross flow.
yes, yes.
So you'd have two 18s running into an 18 and a bigger
36 or
36.
or bigger.
or bigger, yeah, so I mean, that should take a lot of pressure off of.
Oh,
We hope, at least you'll find out what's,
Yeah, what's head pressure.
then what
and
needs to be improved from there
Yeah.
forward.
I think so.
So repair, reclass, and estimate for what the actual reclassification is.
And I think one,
To
you
north
go
of the
with
highway.
1 inch no matter what.
We have to.
I mean, it's, if you're gonna go this, at this point, spend this money. you might as well.
$64 more an acre.
So then, the next meeting then is when we actually will vote whether we're gonna do this or not? Where people say, yep, I want to pay that much, or don't?
Cause you'll know by then you'll have reclass, and you know
Right now, this is
exactly.
a
Yeah.
continuance meeting.
Yep.
If we close this meeting, I think we're going forward.
Yeah.
with it.
Well, can we continue
I think
until
we
we
don't
get?
need to continue it
But
again.
that's what I wanna know, do you
Yeah.
wanna continue
Yeah.
this
We
one
wanna-
more time,
Yep.
and what are we gonna discuss at our continuance?
Because after the reclass, the most this could cost us, is the 346 an acre. After the reclass, the odds are that the price will actually go down from that. Because there might be more acres in it.
Odds are.
But it shouldn't go up.
No,
No.
This should be the,
that'd be the average. Some will pay
well,
significantly
no, yeah, some will
more,
pay
yeah.
more, yeah, it all depends on where you're at.
But yeah, you would just wanna know exactly what.
Now, we couldn't guarantee exact unless we follow through with the hearing, which is 40 days after the submittal, and I don't know if you want to wait that
It's
long or
exact to
not.
the estimate, not exact to the bid.
Right,
Oh,
Yeah,
It may be less.
well, hopefully.
Yeah.
Right.
yeah, absolutely.
But
Hope-
Usually,
we get a bunch of
usually it comes in
conversations.
somewhat less.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I
So,
was gonna say,
So,
the last time we had some stuff, we've only had like 3 contractors bid.
we
haven't
can
had-
round some more.
Oh, do it.
Yes,
That'd
but
be great.
So the intent of the group is to have a continuance for the purpose of absorbing it now and decide whether you wanna jump off the deep end and pay for it?
I got.
And that then,
So I got 2 people that aren't here that haven't seen this, that
Right.
I gotta ask if they wanna do it or not, so, yeah.
So how much time on a continuance?
How much time will it take to do the reclassification?
I have to
Right.
talk to my people, but we're looking at least a month,
Yeah.
maybe longer.
And this isn't gonna get done this year anyway.
the repair can.
But the repair, I'll call Helgeson today and tell him to go ahead with that. But the rest of it, it wouldn't start until this fall anyway. So if we can wait a couple months to get this done.
So on a repair like this, can you get, like the landowner, get another bid?
On the repair?
On the repair, you know, from another,
It'd be up to us to decide whether do we want to accept this.
well, I just didn't know if that's a possibility when they come up with, okay.
Normally people don't ever say that they have another one, so
Yeah,
I just
yeah,
have
I didn't
one,
know.
so-
I suppose there's some cost involved by notices or Do we just
I just was
contact,
wondering on that,
Chris,
if there's,
contact them?
Contact a couple other contractors and have them go out
And if you
there.
have anybody that might be
Or we could
interested
get
in
in
it,
trouble doing that if we don't. if we
Yeah,
just-
because they've already,
No.
we've been through that before, where
I was,
somebody's
that
gone
was
and done
just
all
my
the work.
question. I don't care, it needs to get done, but I just, for future, I just didn't know how that
I don't
works.
think you're gonna gain much dollars.
The unit prices they had seemed pretty
Yeah,
fair.
yeah, they're usually, you know, their price per foot, if they ditch or, you know, reviews you with
No,
them.
no, that, there was just a question on that, you
and it
know,
might slow down the process, it may not get repaired until after
Absolutely.
fall.
Right,
absolutely.
and then you run the risk of them not wanting to do any more work, because
Yeah.
if they went to all this work to get that information together.
And they may not even bid on it at that point.
No.
Contractors are generally so busy now because of the weather we've had. They're still catching up, some of them. So if you can get somebody that'll get out there and do it, that's a real plus.
I agree.
Yep.
So when can we do a continuance for? What do you think a date could be?
Going way far out, I think 2 months.
September?
Yeah,
When, that's the question, when's harvest?
Well, we do first half of September,
Yeah.
you know, 15th,
You're pretty
somewhere in
safe
that
first
vicinity will work.
Okay.
So you would come back with reclass at that point?
yes,
And they would be able to know with your estimate what exactly each owner
Yes.
would pay.
yes.
And even if you could get, if you get the information
Mhm.
earlier, just email it out so you can talk to people
Right,
that need it before we come to that meeting, so we can
exactly,
just,
so you can just find
instead
out.
we sit at the meeting and say, okay, we got it, but we gotta go
Yeah.
talk, which,
Right.
which would be great.
And it's in the
Could
summertime.
you do that when you get the information, then just set a meeting date after that?
They have to continue this, at this meeting, they have to continue it.
You gotta set a date.
Yeah,
We
days
have-
time,
For 2 months.
We have to specify a date, do we?
yeah.
Or could you specify when we get the info from him that we set it?
Well, she could get the information out to you as soon as we have it.
That's what I'm saying, and
Yeah.
then set a date
No.
after.
If we specify a certain date, like 2 months from now, and then everything
Well,
happens
and
in a
this
month and a
was
half,
the
do we
date
move the date up?
Because we specified longer here,
Yeah.
I don't know if that's gonna be possible.
So,
Or the other way we do it is to
well, the
continue
10th
it
is a Tuesday.
for a month, and
If it's
you
not
can
ready.
tell us
So the
an
10th or the
estimate of when
17th
it's
would
gonna
work
be
either
done.
one of those,
At that point, you wouldn't even have to be here.
That's true.
Let's try the 10th.
All right.
At that point, at the next continuance, all we're gonna do is set the time and date for the next.
For the next continuance.
We'd like to see September 10th.
Okay. Did you hear what I said?
No, because we
Okay.
were talking about a date.
That's fine, because if it's not done, we can continue again.
What I was saying was, if we continue it for 1 month, and the purpose of the 1 month meeting is to just determine when that meeting would be, then we can set it as soon as possible, knowing from him where he's at.
If we're not ready, we can
He
continue it
wouldn't even
again.
have to be here, you
Or
guys
we
wouldn't
wouldn't
have to be here, it's just more to set the date.
Sounds good.
Yeah, that way, or we just set it far enough out to be sure. Either way works.
Yeah, but you can just continue it again.
I mean,
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
What
yes.
we would do here would just be a 5-minute decision or less, that this is when we're gonna continue it
it's
to.
gonna be available by
And that'll
then.
push them along too.
In a month, you'll know a lot how you're doing with the reclass probably, so.
Yeah,
That's-
oh, yeah.
That's why I just wanted to set a date, so they have to be done by then.
Well, and truthfully,
Have to be.
well, then let's set it.
our business
Really make
is
it go.
really strange.
Well,
Often
not
in the
lose our
middle of the
engineer.
summer, often in the middle of the summer, we have a break. I mean, there's some construction going on, but we haven't started our fall designs yet. We often have some free time, I'll call it, in the summer. So, rain days, 100-degree days where they don't want to go out. So I'm hoping we can get on it sooner rather than later. You still won't have the hearing out of the way as far as making it formally approved part of the district records, but will be within 3% probably. I mean, there just haven't been major changes in them.
So let's use that.
So do you need a month to decide on the date, or do you just want to set a date?
Well, if we set the date like in first half of September, I'm positive we'll be okay.
Okay.
So I guess I don't have that strong a preference. I understand them wanting to speed it up if they can, so I see the positive part of saying a month from now and maybe we'll have it.
And if we don't, we'll just continue it.
That's fine.
Yep.
Yeah, whatever you think is.
That'd get the only complication would be just another continuation, which, like I said, you just,
It's a simple procedure.
5-minute procedure.
Yeah,
How much notification will we have before the meeting? If you set it for a month,
That's just it. How
Yeah,
much-
I know, see, that's where I don't
it's gonna
know.
Notify us if we're actually supposed to be here.
So what about the end of August?
I feel pretty comfortable with the end of
If we go
August.
6 weeks out or whatever and just plan on it.
Yeah,
And we'll try to get the information out to them after you've got it put together.
that's maybe a really good compromise.
last Tuesday in August, be the 27th.
Did you have?
I got a little question here. Like on Red Big Farm, that's kind of the winner on the bids here, or the money thing. Why is that quarter so high?
That's just how the current classification is.
Current.
So after the new classification, that could change.
Could be higher, could be lower.
Yep. Could be the same.
Okay, just,
So they get you hoping.
yeah, okay, I'm just curious.
Mm-hmm.
Knutsted's a close second.
Yeah, I see, but you got 2 quarters. See, they got 2 quarters, I
Yeah,
got
but
1.
part of that 1/4 goes east, southeast, so it doesn't go into Latin Lebanon.
So what's the date at the end of August that you?
27th is the last Tuesday.
So then if it goes well then, we can conceivably 40 days past that have a
Get
hearing.
a hearing on it to actually finalize that. Yeah.
So that hearing is just to finalize the improvement and then we go to bid letting,
You can do that the same day.
or that's all the same day?
Assuming
No.
that it passes,
Yeah, so it's like 40 days, 40 days.
Yeah,
I think I would
Now-
have a hard time selling it.
we could go ahead with the bid before the reclass is formalized with the hearing. I mean, we've done that many, many times, but
50%.
that doesn't guarantee that's what their benefit's gonna be, because it can be subject to change at the hearing.
Because if somebody comes in at the last minute like they've done and then they say their tile goes the other way, then that changes.
Send the letter.
Yeah.
These people go up, some can go down.
Yeah.
So there's always that chance too, with the people that aren't here. We were talking about doing the bid and having the hearing all at the same time, but the classification formally wouldn't be all done. Well, if somebody at the last minute comes in and says, well, my tile goes the other way, then that changes everybody else, right? Then that changes everybody else's. So it still wouldn't be an exact science.
So if you have information to give now would be a good time to. Once
He's
we
gonna have it
appoint.
done the August 27th.
But it won't be formally done because the whole district isn't done.
Because, yeah, it takes 40 days after it's submitted for the hearing to
Right.
Yeah.
make it official. Yeah,
But we will know, we'll know all that information.
Well, they don't think you
No,
want those
because they
if
won't all
somebody has
have
a
the
private
hearings.
tile they haven't told us about.
Yeah,
yeah.
And that's happened before.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
All right.
Do you see? Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah.
Here's what I put in my notes. Have the reclass on these laterals done by mid-August to have it ahead of the August 27th meeting.
Okay.
If I have run into trouble selling this in the office, and I don't think I will, it'll be a positive thing.
I mean, the worst thing we'll do is then we'll just have another continuance
Yeah.
until September.
Yeah, worst case.
So on the 27th, we're gonna voice our opinion and decide whether this is gonna move forward or not.
No.
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
because we will have the classification for the most part.
They'll
It'll
have
be
to
97% accurate.
We'll be able to give them a very
We'll have
good
the
idea.
information before we come.
Yeah.
Yes,
She's gonna get that.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so
And
then you're gonna mail out to the people that aren't here and they can voice and all
I'll just
that
probably
kinda
send out a
stuff?
whole
Okay.
new
And they'll,
hearing
so
letter.
they can signed, you'll have a letter in that
You'll give us a
packet they
sign,
can have back to say yay or nay, cause I can't just say it for Donovan.
Oh, right, and I forgot.
Yeah,
This is that point where that remonstrance term is used, where
Exactly.
majority of the landowners owning 70% of the land, if they're opposed, it just stops. And you do
But at least it'll be,
but that's
but
why we
it's
need
just lat
something
11 that
for
we're
her.
doing.
Well, but it
But we're
affects
paying
all-
in on it.
So is it
Right,
just
right,
lat
so
11?
it's still everybody.
it's everybody.
Yeah, yeah. Yep.
We're
Hey,
paying.
Sorry.
Yeah. I was
Do you have
gonna
a time
say,
for the meeting?
No, we haven't got
I
that.
don't got a vote.
they get a yay or nay on that.
We're
I
having-
need to do it.
Okay,
I don't think we have anything lined up that day yet, do we?
No, I don't even have an agenda made up for that day.
So we could probably just do it right at 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock.
No,
Okay.
So August 27th at 9. And what I'll try to do is have those schedules together. So what everybody will have based on today's estimate to do a 1-inch coefficient on lat 11 for the length that he has today.
Okay.
Correct?
And then everybody will get a letter and they can be
And they
notified
will
what
need
it's gonna
to
cost
either
them.
send me a letter that says they don't want
Or be
it,
here.
or they need to come in.
Yep.
But I need their signature.
Yep.
they could just write, do not want this improvement.
And put it in the mail, yeah.
Yep.
Hand it to you, I don't care, we're gonna read them at the time.
Okay.
I wouldn't put it in the mail when I get here. I mean, if it's important,
True,
Yeah.
I mean, that's their choice, but
Okay, so everybody understanding what the process is,
So the 27th at 9 AM.
that's the big one.
Okay.
All right, so I'll entertain a motion for that.
Yep.
A motion for the continuance.
Continuance. Okay, so I've got a second.
I'll second it.
Yes. So I've got a motion from Stenger and a second from Gensel to continue the hearing for DE 18, lat 11, 12, 13, and 29 improvement project until August 27th at 9 AM. Any further discussions? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. And Doug is gonna do a petition on the repair then,
yeah.
Okay, so do I need to do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
when we get
Petition
done.
that we repair that.
Well, I'm gonna have you sign it.
Okay.
We've got a little bit to do here first. and then
Okay.
we can do that.
so hopefully before the meeting, you'll send us,
I'm gonna send you that,
do one of those.
yes. I'm gonna send it with the letter. Am I correct?
So hopefully 10 days before we'll get that.
Yeah, right? That's the
That's
next
what we're
thing.
shooting for.
Okay. That's my plug it, having it by the 17th. How's that?
Well, and that's why I made the note, have it done by the middle of the month,
Okay.
so it's
Yeah.
ahead of the
Right.
hearing.
Because then I need to just enter it into the computer, change any parcels or whatever that needs to be, and
No.
And then for the remonstrance, you go off of your acres here on the,
whatever's in there, yep.
so you
You
get,
get it, you get acres, there wasn't acres on it.
No, we don't base it on acres, we just base it on the original assessment. The acres are in there, I mean, we know what they are from the classification, but it's not,
can the class,
Computer
could you
system.
get the classification for acres?
no,
No?
It's not based on acres,
not
it's based on benefit,
It's based on what?
the benefit.
benefit.
Let's keep
You're
that
gonna have
as dark.
Isn't there a way we can get the acres that are in the watershed?
Yeah, his classification
We'll have
schedules
that.
will have that.
Our new
Mhm.
reclass laterals will have.
And you can all get copies of that reclassification.
Yeah, okay.
Yep. And it'll tell you which parcel and how much of that parcel.
Maybe this is a dumb question, which I have a lot of. But, so on, say Donabell's 160 acres here, with all that going through, it goes off of benefit, not acres that drain.
Wow.
No, no.
It's,
He tells us the acres, but he also tells us the amount that those acres
sheds,
have. Yeah,
that it,
so I just go by the amount.
And that
I
shed
take
is
that
this
amount.
dotted line. isn't it?
well, the old one,
That says
yes.
that's,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I only put in the one number in the system. knowing it's
But we
based on
can see
20.
his.
Yeah, yeah. If it's only got 20 acres in that 40 acre parcel, the number that I put in is only based on that 20 acres.
Yeah, our reclass will have the acres for each parcel
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
which.
and the benefit.
So if it's only 39 because of the right of way or whatever, it's,
Yeah.
I just don't enter that number in the computer.
Right.
Is that clear?
Clear as mud.
There's the water coming out.
So how do you get the benefit? What do you come up with?
Okay, that's a good question. The drainage law, all it says is the supervisors as trustees appoint 3 commissioners to evaluate the benefit. One is, I love this because it says one is a competent engineer. So, and then, and 2 landowners in the county that do not have an interest in this district. You are to assign the land with the most benefit, 100 points per acre, and graduate the benefit down based on lesser benefit, period. So,
But if it's figured out on pattern tile in every farm, shouldn't the benefit be the same?
no. Soils make so much difference. We use soil characteristics a lot. You know, like a soil that's underlain with sand, little benefit. They don't need it.
And the type of use.
Yes,
If it's a concrete parking lot, you pay 100%.
Yeah.
Of the formula.
yeah, as an
Okay,
example, if a district has ag ground and city ground, we put the ag ground 0 to 10 points, the residential from 20 to 40, and the commercial from 40 to 100. So that's where the use comes in. If it's all just ag ground, we use the 0 to 100 on all ag.
And the code is the same for all engineers. We've had a few different ones over the few years I've been here, and they might do it differently, but pretty much they come up with the same number.
What is there, about 8 categories you can classify with, and you use 5
Yeah.
or 6?
Right, yeah, everyone does it different. That was a real good summary Chris just said there. Many years ago, someone asked for a summary from drainage engineers in the state of Iowa. Every procedure was completely different, but the end results were somewhat similar.
When it's an all ag district, it's a lot simpler to classify.
Oh, yes.
When we did the one here, from here, around here in Forest City,
Oh, it's horrible.
oh my God.
Had Winnebago Industries in it, 3M.
Almost $6 an acre to do,
Yeah.
and they still,
And if you don't think that's fair, you can talk to Ted, not us.
Yeah.
Right.
That doesn't do any good.
Just want to be fair. So back to this easement thing, the 9 acres and 30 acres, who is that to? I mean,
The property we go through,
what?
there'll be a summary of how many acres through each parcel for each kind of right-of-way with the dollar
Oh,
figure.
that's what you're gonna pay them for the
Yeah,
disruption of their.
for going through their ground in a,
disrupting their crop, their
Paying them,
possible
basically
crop.
kinda like almost paying them damages.
yeah, that's as good a way as any to describe it.
It's pretty much like.
There you go, yours is going down.
I never got any last time they did it.
Well, now you can get it passed.
Now I get it back.
Cause you get
From what-
68 grand.
These are made by the vacation time.
It's just,
This work just got better.
Let's vote today.
yeah. I was just gonna say, I think that more than covers your.
All right, so are we clear on this part of it?
Yep.
All right, so we need to move on. Our next item is been tabled because of the continuance of the one we just did. Number 5, consider for approval engineering contract with Jacobson Westergaard to reclass, I missed 4. Consider for approval engineering contract with Jacobson Westergaard to reclassify DD 68-136.
Carla, you have those.
So you guys are done.
We're done.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks for a good day. Nothing better than good rousing drainage.
Yeah.
Do you have an interest in the estimates?
I'll make a motion to approve Jacobson Westgard reclassify DD 68-136.
Second?
Got a motion from Jensvold and a second from Stenzer to approve Jacobson Westgard to reclassify DD 68-136. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries. Consider for approval engineering contract with Jacobson Westgard to reclassify DD 18.
We're all same as before.
I'll second it.
Got a motion from Stenzer and a second from Jensvold to approve the engineering contract with Jacobson Westgard and reclassify DD 18. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you.
You.
Glad to be involved.
But you can't go yet.
No,
We still have number 6. And I have a question on that.
okay.
You address that?
Yeah.
Well, she's,
Well, I guess I could ask you,
Sure.
and let her know. DD 11, where are we at on that?
We're working on that design and we're trying to coordinate with the Corps as far as what we can do downstream and use some of the upstream construction for mitigation. We're in the process of the final design on the ditch, new open ditch. And I believe the only thing we haven't done is get the quantities for extending the ditch further. Once we got into this design, it was very obvious that you can't do pipe on the lower part. We thought we might have an option to do that. Pipe will actually be out of the ground on some of that. So you're stuck with doing a ditch on the lower part. It's a matter of how far we take it.
Is both sides of the road to be out of the ground, or?
I continue looking at the profile now, and
I'm confused. If the pipe's gonna be out of the ground, what good is the ditch?
well, the ditch, even if the ditch is just 2 feet deep, or 3, if it's 3 to 4 feet deep, the pipe is so big at the lower end, that'd be nearly exposed. But the ditch can be 3 or 4 feet deep
All
and
right.
still function.
Gotcha.
Good question. I mean, it can still function even though it's not a very deep ditch. Maybe a little wider to carry the capacity. And just in the last few weeks, we were able to get out and some of that ground. I mean, there's water standing forever on that district, right where the tile goes through. I mean, it's a disaster. We're getting quite close. And frankly, there's just been some emergency things come up, so we haven't been able to concentrate on that final design. We're close. We're very, very close.
How are you coming with the core?
Just initial contacts and not really.
We have some time to go on that.
Yeah.
What? Because there's a natural waterway that we're trying to eliminate part of it.
Yeah.
So it's gonna cost a lot to clean out all those trees.
Yeah.
In and out of Amberson's field, if we can cut straight across. It's
Yeah.
a lot better.
Yeah. And now we may be coming back to you. We've talked this over in the office several times about doing some tree clearing, not just keeping it under 50,000, but doing some tree clearing so we can actually get some information. It's so dense. We're so limited in what we can even gather for engineering information. We haven't come up with a limit on how far to take that or whatever, but I want to have that part of the future discussion, what to do there. So, and we'll have the final design done hopefully well ahead of this August 27th time. So maybe I can address it, at least talk to you about timing better, say a month from now.
People that are being affected are really wondering.
Oh, I'm sure. Oh, I know. Yeah. I was amazed how bad that system was. I mean, it's really awful.
Been that way for years.
When you have water standing directly over the county main for months, yeah. as we wrap up the design on that, I'll get more information to you. Yeah, my engineer that's been working on that has said, I'll be back to that tomorrow or whatever, so, yeah.
I know I was just gonna show you on this farm where I'm at.
Mm-hmm.
This is how I think it's draining north. I was just
Oh.
wondering if you could check into that. When you
Yes.
Do your reassessment.
Yep. We will
'Cause I'm definitely going that way. It's just,
Mm-hmm.
I think that line's a little.
It's a little
not
too
quite
far north.
accurate. Yeah.
We'll check the information, computer information
You don't
available.
need this thing though.
No, we'll definitely
Redo that.
go around that boundary.
All right.
So you don't need the records from tile going the other way?
Probably. I'm sure I got
That
some.
would be, that would be the challenge.
Sure.
The topographical would be, my tile goes through the top of the hill to the other direction.
Sure. Okay. Yep. Sounds good.
Excellent, thank you. We're putting together a summary too on DD1 open ditch. We've got photos and information on lots of damage done out there. We're gonna try and come back to you with a recommendation on which ones to do what with, so,
Then the weather this spring.
yeah. Yeah. So,
All right, and I don't think any of the surface pipes have been done yet, have they? Outlets,
no,
I think they were gonna wait till fall maybe.
sounds like it, yeah.
I see a lot of rusty ones along the highway. It's going like this.
Yeah.
All right. Any updates on anything else on ours?
Don't think so. I tried to look at the list before I came over. But I just plan to give you an update on everything next time. Thank you. You bet.
Well, we can probably table the rest of the drainage discussion until after Chris gets back.
Whatever. 7556.
Sorry. God.
Hello?
Hi, Julie, we're ready for you.
Okay, thank you.
You want to hang it up on it?
No one hangs it with itself.
Is number 10, is that Sheriff Dave? Or Farmer Dave?
Probably Farmer Dave, he didn't come last year.
I'll make a motion to approve that.
I'll second it.
See, this is
I'm not sure, Dave.
30th Avenue, Gulfport. That's different. It is the sheriff, so is that okay?
Well, they must be having, his brother lives out in Acreage out there. Yeah, so that's what Sheriff did. Okay, well, I'll make the motion, and Mike can second it.
All right, second. Motion from Jen Sullivan, second from Stencher to approve the fireworks permit for Dave Peterson. All those in favor say aye.
Aye. Maybe we should have some further discussion. Maybe we should have talked to the sheriff and see if the guy that was having the permit is working. Sometimes
They
we
know
ask
anything
them,
about
the
firefighting.
guys.
That's too late, we already voted.
Yeah, all right.
Hi, Julie.
Good morning. Busy morning, huh?
Yeah, drainage.
Nope.
Keeps us all on the edge of our seats.
There you go. This is my end of the year report from January to June. So it lists all your funds there and the beginning balances and our ending balances.
Is there a category that shows revenue, waste management, ticket fees? Is that indicated in here, or are they not paying?
They made a payment.
They
$1,729.49. In the solid waste cleaning trust fund,
Halfway down.
Fund 48.
48. Mm-hmm.
Department 48.
That was the one that you guys did a auditor transfer on at the end of the year. And we have to have the exact amount from the bank for the interest earned on that account, so we can sweep everything from that account to the main. And I attached a letter there, because if you notice the solid waste account ending balance on 48 is
59 cents under.
Yeah, because I sent you a letter there, when Marcia figured the interest, she figured it to July 1 instead of July 30. So I have 59 cents more was transferred from the auditor transfer to,
She graduated with me, that might explain a few things.
yeah, but that's okay, we got it all figured out, and, it is now a zero balance, so. But at the end of my fiscal year, I had to show it as a negative.
So this is probably a quarterly payment they gave us? At least 60,000, more than 60,000 here we get.
Because we went a year without anything in there,
I know,
so.
but some of the estimates they gave us when we signed the contract looked more like 87,000 compared to what their tipping fees were, or their number of loads were selling. So,
Okay.
hoping it's higher than that. It's just a slow time of year.
Yeah.
I know they'll be taking in 260 loads of wind turbine blades. All the blades go there, they crush them up with pinchers.
Oh my.
We're taking them to the
They cut them
landfill.
into 40-foot sections, so one blade goes on a truck in 3 parts.
Yeah, and I've seen them loaded on
And
the
then they
trucks.
take them there, and then they got a big excavator that just crushes them. Except for the very base, they can't crush them.
Is it just fiberglass, the base?
Fiberglass.
I thought maybe they had metal in there or something.
Well, there's a wire that goes through it just for grounding, but other than that, no, it's all fiberglass.
I would have thought the very base of them would have to be
There's a
steel
lot of
or
resin in there.
I thought I heard they were cutting the bases off and taking the metal in it. Yeah, that's just metal. Where the bolts go through to bolt it onto the,
Yeah, it could be, but they're
Manifold.
taking that off of the blade itself.
yeah.
So we'll earn money on that, kind of.
260 something loads.
Every little bit helps.
Yeah. You ever drive by there and you see all the white, that's all
That's what it
turbine
is.
blades lined up ready for crushing.
Oh, is that right?
Oh my gosh.
So you can see it from the highway, you can see it. You guys have any more questions on that?
And these should reflect, these totals should reflect on the reports I send you at the end of June.
With 587 page.
Yeah, I know it. I know. I've already signed it. So
Complicated like this.
I'll give you this one is the one I'd like to have. If you approve it, I would need it stamped and then your signature on there, please.
I'll second it.
Got a motion from Denver and second from Gensel to approve the treasurer's semi-annual report. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Okay, I'll make a copy of that, Carla. I need your signature and then I can bring it down to you. Sure, if you need to, yeah. It's not a problem.
done. That's Scott.
Okay.
Scott's around.
Thank you.
Yes, we do.
Hello. Hi, Scott, are you available to come up and do your report? You bet. All right, thanks. Yep. What'd you say?
Motion to approve the sheriff's quarterly report.
Second.
Got a motion from Stander, second from Jensen to approve the sheriff's quarterly report. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Oh, shoot.
What? Tuesday.
I didn't change this.
Oh.
Or can I just initial, just cross out the date and initial it? Oh, that's everything. Yeah, she wants to do that.
That's just funny. That's all I got so far.
She wanted this stand too, I guess.
Get any open forum? Oh, you're here. I didn't see it.
AJ left.
Yeah, PJ left. That's just like.
It's too bad.
AJ and I would let
Okay, go
like,
ahead.
right?
Yeah.
So what do you got for road report?
I was just gonna let you know, we got, our county crew started on their bridge work. They started by Ted Thompson's there northwest of Thompson. Should get pipe in the ground this week, I would think, on that one, and open soon after. After that, I expect they'll move to, west of Lake Mills, 4 or 5 miles to that one. Pipe's in the ditch already, so expect people up there are ready for it to be done. G2W. G2W. Newton Township, west side of section 2. There'll be a metal pipe as well. 2.
I suppose that's on that road that one of the roads they've been complaining about the rock on. It's on 160th.
Yeah, 2 stretches there that are pretty poor.
How's that going? The spotting and
Well, so we got Lake Mills pile hauled out, now they're hauling from Fertile, so going well, but, slow, because now the round trips are so much longer.
Typically, how many trucks haul?
Like to have 7. Kind of depends on what's free, if we can get belly dump free or somebody in a standby. We got summer help now with a CDL, so maybe he can do a little hauling too.
So one of those is a semi and the rest are pumps.
Well, yeah, and I don't all have pups either at all times if
So we
they're,
have 2 pups, 3 pups.
we got pups for all the trucks if they're up to, if they're operational or not under repair, but.
Have you ever looked into renting 3/4 center dumps, semis?
No, Mark's mentioned it before, even just another tractor to pull, you know, the belly dump while we're jockeying around equipment with the low boy, you know, got a split use of the tractor.
You've only got one semi-tractor.
Yep. So when it needs to move equipment,
Yes,
it goes
has
to that
3
trailer.
trailers, 3 trailers to pull.
Yep. It's whatever's the need at the time.
Maybe that's something you should look into as far as, you've got 2 rock trailers. You have a belly dump.
Side dump and a belly dump,
side dump, and then you could have both of them going at once then, which is a lot better than a single truck running over there. I mean, when they got the pups on, it's not so bad, but if you're just running a single truck, it's a lot, you can do a lot more with, all twice as much.
If we got bodies to drive it and, you know, all that, yeah.
Just a thought.
Mm-hmm.
I talked to you about 440th. This is a picture I got this morning from Kevin Deering. That section, that's what it looked like this morning. It's the just west of 30th, 440th, just west of 30th. Past that, the old junkyard there, Carlson is it the place. And
They get some rain overnight over that way.
evidently,
Do you know? I mean, my driveway was wet and my gauge was,
I had 2 tents, they were saying up by, Starkville, they had 8 tents.
did they?
well, there's,
It kind of started here and then moved on.
Big ruts.
not yet.
Right.
They don't, it looks like only one truck has been through there. Trucks go through there every now and then. I don't know what they're, did you ever send us a thing on the haul routes for the turbines?
Oh, I'm not sure. I need to
don't
get you
remember
that.
it. Because it'd be nice to know if 450th is on that route. There have been a lot of rock trucks going past, which would be going past my brother-in-law's, but he's not the one that complained. The one that complained is the neighbor to the west. And he didn't think that they needed to be going by there, which they have a lot of youth kids come out and ride horses out there. And they have a couple of these horses are right in the road ditch eating the grass too, so I better make sure he thanks us for the grass. But, you know, he was just wondering if they needed to go by there or not, and if that was a haul route.
Can't say off the top of my head, but I'll get you a haul route map. The most important part is if they're using it, they need to take care of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's not that bad yet, as far as I drove it yesterday. I drove a bunch of the roads yesterday that I've been received complaints on, and they were all better. I mean, it's that somebody's done something with them, whether it's us or them, I don't know. But the middle road's looking a lot better as far as
I thought it looked pretty good when I was on it last.
yeah.
Just worth mentioning maybe, but we got some complaints that the windmills were sending their concrete trucks to wash out at the Buffalo Center compost yard.
Yeah, I received the same complaints.
But they were not trucks associated with the wind farm. They were some side loads that somebody bought off the concrete plant, so.
Yeah, but they must have made a lot of side loads.
Could be.
We're talking easy a dozen trucks going in and out of there a day. At one point, maybe it's not now, but
Yeah.
when I was out there hauling grain, those cement trucks were going by all the time.
Okay, well, I need to know about that right away, if we're gonna do anything about it.
Well, I mean, this was earlier this spring, so, or in
Okay.
June, it was in June.
Yeah, if there's traffic off the haul road, I need to know about it immediately so we can figure out who it
You know,
is.
and whether it's all, they must have a lot of side jobs if that's the case. But even so, if they're gonna be out there, yeah. But like I said, it's not that bad right now. They've been with the road, it's just that frost boils have never gone away by Joe Price's there, so.
Anything else?
Mm-mm.
Nothing from you guys? I don't have anything. Okay, we'll move on to consider for approval resolution to purchase equipment for the secondary road department.
That's new dump truck, right? Smoke.
Yep, plow truck,
Plow truck and plow equipment.
equipment through, yep.
I'll second the motion. I've got a motion from Stenzer and a second from Derby to approve the resolution to purchase a Western Star truck chassis and box hoist and snow equipment for $230,074.71. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Alright,
2 copies of the same thing there, if you could both sign, please.
you'll have to decontaminate it when she gets it back to you. Notice I said like this.
And I would really appreciate it as you're sitting over there, you take deep breaths to suck as much of it in, so it doesn't get this way. All right, see you later, Scott.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna call Chris, since it's your job.
I don't know, we're not. What is it, 7511?
Yeah. You guys have any drainage?
I don't.
This is Chris, can I help you?
Did you have any more drainage?
Oh, I do not right now. No,
Okay.
I'm so sorry.
Then, and we didn't either. I talked to Rick about some things on DD11, he gave us an update, and that's about it.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you. Bye.
Okay, consider for approval county claims. You guys got them, looked at them?
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve the semi-monthly county claims.
I'll second it.
Motion from Derby and second from Jennifer to approve the county claims. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
That's from last week, you just need to sign it, I didn't sign it.
It's done. Yeah, you gotta pass it down.
Yeah, it's kind of, yeah, AJ got out of here, I was gonna tell him, thank the guys on the radio in the morning that they played Tiny Tim's Tiptoe Through the Tulips this morning. I was singing that to myself. Is that funny?
Now it's stuck in your head.
I do a pretty good imitation of it. But I'll spare everybody in YouTube world that. Proceed. Yeah, that's some fun.
Okay, well, apparently we're done with our agenda.